The fairy Berry Loon told the children that the land of memory was not far, but they had to walk through a dark and old forest. The trees were very tall, and there was a thick mist. They could not see much. They might get lost, but the fairy said, "Go straight. There is only one road." The ground had many white flowers. They were pretty, but had no smell because the sun never shone there. The children felt lonely, but the flowers made them feel better. It was very quiet. They felt a little scared, but also excited. "Let's take some flowers to Granny," said Mytyl. "Yes, she will like them," said Tyltyl. They picked a bunch of flowers. They did not know that each flower, a pansy, which means a thought, brought them closer to their grandparents. Soon they saw a big oak tree with a sign, "The Land of Memory." "We're here," said Tyltyl. But they looked around and saw nothing. "I see nothing," said Mytyl. "I'm cold. I'm tired. I don't want to walk more." Tyltyl was focused and said, "Don't cry. Look, the mist is going away." And it was true. The mist moved away. The trees disappeared. In front of them was a small house with flowers and fruit trees. The children knew the cow in the garden, the dog at the door, and the blackbird in the cage. Everything looked soft and warm. They saw two old people sleeping on a bench. "It's Grandad." "It's Granny," they shouted, but they were a little afraid and did not move. They watched the old people wake up slowly. "I feel our grandchildren are coming today," said Granny. "Yes," said Grandad. "I feel something in my legs. I think they are near." "I see happy tears in my eyes," said Granny. At that moment, the children ran to them and hugged them. They kissed and laughed and felt very happy. "You are so tall, Tyltyl," said Granny. "And Mytyl has pretty hair and eyes," said Grandad. They sat down and talked. Mytyl sat with Grandad. Tyltyl sat on Granny's lap. "How are your father and mother?" asked Granny. "They are well. They were sleeping when we left," said Tyltyl. Granny kissed them again. "Why don't you visit more?" she asked. "We couldn't before." "Today we came because of the fairy," said Tyltyl. "We are always here," said Granny. "We wait for the living to think of us. When you think of us, we wake up." Tyltyl remembered the fairy said this. He started to understand. His grandparents were not gone. "Are you really not dead?" he asked. Grandad and Granny laughed. "What is dead?" asked Grandad. "It means you are not alive," said Tyltyl. The old couple smiled. "The living don't understand," they said. They started to talk about the past. Old people love to remember old times. Tyltyl looked around the house. "Everything is the same. Nothing has changed," he said. "But everything looks nicer." He saw the clock he broke, the hole in the door, the plum tree he climbed. "Do you have the bluebird here?" he asked. At that moment, Mytyl saw the blackbird and said, "Look, the blackbird. Does it still sing?" The bird started to sing loudly. "It sings when someone thinks of it," said Granny. "But it's blue!" shouted Tyltyl. "It's the bluebird." "Can I have it?" "Of course," said the grandparents. Tyltyl took the bird carefully and put it in his cage. "The fairy will be so happy," he said. Then the children asked if their little brothers and sisters were there too. Right away, 7 children ran out of the house, laughing and shouting. The children all hugged and played together. "There's Pierrot." "And Robert?" "Jean, where is your toy?" "Madeleine, Pauline." "And Riquette." "Kiki the dog is here too," said Tyltyl. "He still has no tail," said Mytyl, laughing. "Nothing changes here," said Grandad. Suddenly, they heard the clock strike 8. "I was thinking of the time," said Tyltyl. "We must go." Granny had an idea. She made supper. There was cabbage soup and plum tart. "Let's eat before you go," she said. They set the table outside. They all sat and ate together. "How good it is," said Tyltyl. "I want more." But he spilled the soup. Everyone was wet, and Grandad slapped him. "Ow!" said Tyltyl. "That feels just like the old days." "Thank you, Grandad." Everyone laughed. Then they heard the clock strike 8:30. "We must go," said Tyltyl. "Goodbye, everyone." He took the cage. Everyone said goodbye. Granny cried. "Pa! Come back often," she said. "We will," said the children. Slowly, everything faded. The children were back in the dark forest. "I'm scared," said Mytyl. "Don't worry," said Tyltyl. "We have the bluebird." But when he looked in the cage, the bluebird was black. It was just the old blackbird. Tyltyl was very sad. Was it all a dream? Would he ever find the real bluebird? He couldn't find the road. He started to cry, but then the mist opened again. In front of them was a bright temple. Light stood at the door. She smiled. She smiled. "Don't be sad," she said. "You saw your grandparents. That is happiness. The bird sings again. You gave it life. That is also good. Learn to love the birds you find." They went to sleep on white clouds. Light watched over them. Chapter 4. The Palace of Night. Early in the morning, the children and their friends got ready to go to the Palace of Night. They hoped to find the bluebird there, but some of them did not come. Milk stayed in bed because she felt sick. Water was too tired and did not want to go. Light also did not come because she did not like night. Light gave Tyloo a kiss and told him the way. It was his job to lead the group, so they started walking. Tilly walked in front on his back legs like a little man. He felt very proud. He walked a lot up and down the path. He did not stop to smell anything or talk to old friends. He was too serious now. But poor Tyloo, even if he looked like a man, he still thought like a dog. He was not happier. He also felt worried and scared. "Oh," he said, "if I find that bluebird, I will not eat it, even if it looks very tasty." Bread walked behind him, holding the bird cage. Then came the children. Sugar walked last. But where was the cat? Let's go back and see. Earlier, the cat had a secret plan. She wanted to make the journey longer, but the others were too silly and told everything to the fairy. The cat was angry. She thought, "In my cat life, we don't trust others. In the human world, it is the same." She was an old friend. The road to the Palace of Night was long and dangerous. There were high rocks and deep holes. But the cat moved quickly and lightly. She ran to the palace. Night was sleeping in her big black hole. She looked like a queen. Her face was white like the moon. She had long black wings. Everything around her was dark and quiet. The cat looked at her kindly and said, "It's me, Mother Night." She was scared. She loved silence, and now it was broken. The cat told her that the children were coming. Night was afraid. She didn't want them to find her secrets or the bluebird. She screamed loudly. But the cat had a plan. She said, "Let's scare the children. Show them the other dark rooms. They will be too afraid to go further." Night agreed. She did not have time to speak because she heard footsteps. The children were coming. Tyloo walked first. Tyltyl looked around and felt nervous. The hall was huge and black with tall black pillars and no ceiling. 2 small fires burned next to a big brass door. Other bronze doors were on the sides. The cat ran to the children. "Come this way," she said. Night did not like the words "good day." She said, "Say good evening next time." Tyltyl was sorry and said it kindly. He asked if he could look for the bluebird in her palace. But she was afraid of the magic diamond. So she showed him a big key and pointed to the first door. Tyltyl took the key and walked to the door. Everyone was scared. Bread's teeth shook. Sugar cried. Mytyl screamed, "I want to go home!" Tyltyl opened the door. They were like mist. They ran, flew, and danced in the air. Tyltyl tried to catch them. Night pretended to be scared. She screamed, "Help!" She was the ghosts' friend and could stop them anytime. The ghosts were happy to be free, but they ran away when Tylo barked and bit at them. "Phew," said Tylo. "They feel like cotton." Then Tyltyl went to the second door. "What is here?" he asked. Night said, "It's the sicknesses. They are not strong anymore. Open it." Tyltyl opened the door. At first he saw nothing, but then a small person in a nightcap ran out. She sneezed and coughed. She lost her slippers. The children laughed, but when they came close, they also started sneezing. "It's only cold in the head," said Night. Sugar said, "Oh no! If my nose keeps running, I'll melt." Poor Sugar didn't know where to go. He liked being alive because he loved water very much. But water was a big flirt. She wanted a lot of attention and didn't care who she talked to. Sugar kissed her many times, but each kiss made him smaller. He was afraid he would disappear. Then Cold in the Head attacked Sugar. Sugar wanted to run away, but brave Tylo helped. He chased Cold in the Head back to her cave. Tyltyl and Mytyl laughed. They were not very scared. Tyltyl opened the next door quickly. "Be careful," said Night. "This is the door to war. War is very strong. If he gets out, we are in big danger. Be ready to close the door." But it was too late. Tyltyl couldn't close the door. The wall was pushing from the other side. Blood came out, fire and noise too. Everyone ran. Bread and Sugar tried to escape, but got lost. They came back to help close the door. Tylai also helped. Mytyl cried. The cat acted scared, but was happy. She thought the journey would stop now. Then Tyltyl shouted, "Victory!" We closed the door. He sat down, very tired. His hands were shaking. "Did you see war?" asked Night. "Yes," said Tyltyl. "They were terrible. They were terrible. I don't think the bluebird is there." "Of course not," said Night. "Light told me to see everything." Next he asked, "What is in the next room?" "Shades and terrors," said Night. So Tyltyl laughed. "I've seen enough shade in this house, and the terrors are probably like ghosts. Nothing to fear." He opened the door. Nothing came out. "There is nothing there," said Tyltyl. "Yes, there is," said Night. She was angry. She wanted to scare him. Some tall shapes came out. But when they heard the children laugh, they got scared and ran away. Now Tyltyl walked to the last big door. "Don't open that," said Night. "Why not? It's not allowed." "Then the bluebird must be inside," said Tyltyl. "Don't do it. If you open that door, you will die," shouted Night. "No one has ever come back after opening it." "Please don't," cried Bread, Sugar, Mytyl, and the cat. Tylo said nothing. He was scared but stayed close to Tyltyl. 2 tears ran down his face. He licked Tyltyl's hand. Tyltyl was scared too, but he said, "If I don't do it, who will?" "I must open the door," he shouted. He and Tylo ran to the door. All the others ran away. Sugar melted. Bread hid. Night and the cat went far away. Tyltyl kissed Tylo and put the key in the lock. The door opened. What a surprise! A beautiful garden was there. The flowers shone like stars. Waterfalls fell from the sky. The trees looked silver. Bluebirds flew everywhere. Tyltyl shouted, "Come quickly! Millions of bluebirds!" "Come, Mytyl," Come, Tylô. Everyone ran into the garden. They caught birds happily. I have 7, said Mytyl. I have too many, said Tyltyl. Let's go to Light. She will be happy. They ran and sang happily. Night and the cat didn't follow. Night asked, did they catch it? No, said the cat. She saw the real bluebird sitting on a moonbeam. They held their birds close, but with each step, the birds died. At the top, they had only dead birds in their hands. Light was waiting. Did you catch the bird? She asked. Yes. Look, said Tyltyl, but the birds were dead. Their wings were broken. Tyltyl cried. The others looked sad too. All the birds were dead. You didn't find the bird that can live in the sun, but we will find it. Yes, we will, said Bread and Sugar. Tyler looked at the dead birds and said, they were all sad. Sugar said to Bread, this is silly. Bread answered, tomorrow we will stay in bed. They forgot that without Tyltyl they would not be alive. They laughed at him, but he saved them. Fairy Berryloom gave them life, but not wisdom. They could talk and think, but they didn't understand. Light knew this. She said, I will not let them help with hard things any more. The road was now bright. The Temple of Light stood ahead. Tired, the children climbed on Tylô's back. Soon they arrived.